I found the one secret trick to making real orgeat in about 30 minutes. No soaking for days, no messy straining, no almond milk. I use real toasted almonds, get intense flavor, and I get it almost instantly because I use the one secret trick that no one else uses, and it can be made without all the sugar too. And I'll show you how to go from real almonds to Mai Tais almost immediately. Plus, as a bonus, stick around until the end and I'll make my low carb on the high seas 1944-ish Mai Tai and share my recipe with you. Hello and welcome to Pretty Spooky Presents Low Carb on the High Seas. I'm Angela, your haunted hostess and creator of Pretty Spooky, a lifestyle brand and the grown-ups guide for how to have Halloween fun year-round. If Halloween is your favorite, yet just one day isn't nearly enough, let Pretty Spooky show you how to take an eerie angle on the everyday and how to add a little bit more macabre to the mundane. This episode of Pretty Spooky Presents is created in my home tiki bar, the Sunken. For me, tiki has some of the same elements of mystery, danger, and escapism as Halloween with all of the nostalgia of the past. And as a former bartender, I know that the ritual of raising a glass and the shared experience of exotic flavors creates a celebration, making any day of the week, any time of the year, more spectacular. In future episodes, I'll share more about my home bar and how I created and designed my low carb on the high seas drink menu. In addition, I'll share projects and ways I add mystery and excitement and spooky fun to my everyday life. But for now, we'll focus on the real reason you're here, the one secret to making real orgeat real fast. Just like anyone else, I start out with raw, unsalted natural almonds, 2 cups. Toast them in a skillet until they snap and sizzle and smell a little like popcorn at your favorite scary movie. Speaking of scary movies, share your scary movie favorites in the comment below. And if you can't narrow it down to just one, list your top 3. I'm always looking to expand my horizons. Next, you're going to pulse the toasted almonds in a blender 1 cup at a time until they're the consistency of coarsely ground coffee, and you'll see why I compare the size to coarse coffee grounds in just a moment. While the almonds finish cooling, you're going to prepare your other ingredients. Distilled water, 1.5 cups sugar or monk fruit with erythritol. I found that some sweeteners crystallize in the fridge, so you'll have to experiment a bit. This is what has worked for me. 1 teaspoon of orange flower water, 1 teaspoon of rose water, and 1 teaspoon of almond extract. A modest pinch of Himalayan salt, adjust all of these to your preference, of course, and 2 ounces of white rum, which aids in the preservation. You'll also need a champagne bucket of crushed ice, 2 quart-sized mason jars with lids, a bottle for your bar with a label that includes the date. Make a second label while you're at it. It'll come in handy. You'll notice that I have no nut milk bags or strainers in my supplies. That is because I have this, an Italian stovetop espresso maker. This magical tool not only creates amazing coffee, but it makes real orgeat real fast. It injects the steaming hot pressurized water from the bottom through the ground almonds for intense flavor and yields thick almondy goodness at the top, super fast in minutes, no days of soaking needed, no messy straining or squeezing through nut milk bags. I found mine for about $40 a couple years ago, and it's been well worth it for its coffee making capabilities alone. But now that it doubles as an orgeat maker, it's even more appreciated. If you also use your device for making coffee, make sure it's free of all coffee smells by scrubbing the inside thoroughly with baking soda, or you can just buy an extra espresso maker used only for orgeat. Orgeat in your coffee is delicious, but coffee in your Mai Tai is not. So first you're going to fill the reservoir on the bottom with distilled water. Then you're going to pack the coffee compartment with your almond grounds. You'll have extra left over for batch 2, or you can just half the recipe and make 1 batch. Make sure your filter and gasket are in place and screw on the top. You're going to place the device on the stove burner on high until you hear the whooshing sound. Then you're going to remove the device from the burner and allow it to finish filling the pitcher. You're going to pour the liquid into a mason jar and leave that mason jar open, lid off to cool slightly while making your second batch. Just release the vacuum by running tap water through the top, wait for the bubbles to show that the vacuum is broken, and open it carefully using heat-safe mitts. Remove the original almond grounds and repeat the first steps from the first batch. While the second batch boils, clean your blender so you can add the almond liquids and sugar or sugar substitute to the blender to incorporate the flavors even faster. I have created an entire menu of lower carb drink options based on the classics and original Tiki recipes from the past for several reasons. While no cocktail can be called healthy, personally I just don't need the added calories, carbs, or inflammation. So whenever I can, I cut the carbs but keep all the flavors. So once your sweetener has been fully incorporated into the liquid, transfer the still warm liquid into the mason jars, seal them, and submerge them into an ice bath while you prepare the ingredients for your low carb on the high seas 1944-ish Mai Tai. Remember, you don't have to wait days to get almondy goodness, and you can use it in cocktails right away. The Sunken Compass guest menu describes the 1944-ish Mai Tai as 2 rums swimming in tart lime and orange curacao, tamed by creamy almond flavors of homemade orgeat and garnished by a tiny lime mint island. The bartender's menu shows the recipe as 3/4 ounce lime, 3/4 ounce orgeat, 3/4 ounce orange curacao, and 1.5 ounce of white rum. You're going to spindle blend it, or you can shake it in a tin, add a 1/2 ounce dark rum topper, and you're going to garnish with a lime shell and mint to mimic a tiny island. While the almond liquid finishes cooling, I'll start the cocktail and add the orgeat toward the end, which is a little out of order, but it makes good use of our time here. So I'm going to juice 3/4 ounce of lime. Then I'm going to add 3/4 ounce of orange curacao. It's a good thing that 3/4 ounce is all I need, because I have made a few Mai Tais recently. 1.5 ounce of light rum. I prefer Ray and Nephew over Proof. Ray and Nephew is at the end of the bottle. Whew. A little to spare. I'm going to prepare the garnish, which you just use your spent lime shell, and I actually like to poke a little slice so that way I have somewhere to put my mint, so that way it mimics a little island. So everything stays in place. And you're going to leave the mixture uniced for now. Check on the almond liquid to see if it's cool enough to transfer back into the blender. Incorporate the almond extract, the orange blossom water, the rose water, and 2 ounces of rum. And add salt to your preference. And let's see how we did. It's pretty nice. I do think I'll do another pinch of salt. Transfer the majority of it to our labeled bar bottle, and we will then use one of the mason jars as a refill or a backup stash to be stored in the refrigerator as well. And you can spindle blend it, or you can use a tin and a shaker. Pour into your chosen glass. Garnish with your little mint island that you created earlier. And don't forget your 1/2 ounce dark rum topper. So there you have it, the one secret to making real orgeat real fast. It's the easiest, fastest, messless way to go from real almonds to Mai Tai almost instantly. Plus, I shared my bonus recipe, the 1944-ish Mai Tai, made the low carb on the high seas way. If you try the recipes, let me know what you thought and how it went in the comments. I'd love to know how these recipes and methods compare with others you've tried. I loved being your haunted hostess. You were a wonderful guest. You're welcome back always. Farewell until next time. Cheers.